Let's be real. Life happens. Kids spill. Pets shed. And accidents are inevitable. Find a sofa that can keep up at washablesofas.com. Starting at just $699. Our sofas are fully machine washable inside and out. So you can say goodbye to stains and hello to worry-free living. Made with liquid and stain-resistant fabrics. They're kid-proof, pet-friendly, and built for everyday life. Plus, changeable fabric covers let you refresh your sofa whenever you want. Need flexibility? Our modular design lets you rearrange your sofa anytime to fit your space, whether it's a growing family room or a cozy apartment. Plus, they're earth-friendly and trusted by over 200,000 happy customers. It's time to upgrade to a stress-free, mess-proof sofa. Visit washablesofas.com today and save. That's washablesofas.com. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
If you eat too many ultra-processed foods, you could be starving your gut microbes, and they'll get hangry. That's one of many things I learned after working on a new audio course about the gut microbiome. You can learn how to keep your gut happy by listening to Try This from the Washington Post. I'm Christina Quinn. I host Try This. Dig in with me on practical advice for life's common challenges. Follow Try This right now wherever you're listening. Seriously, try it.
KFI AM 640. It's later with Mo Kelly, and it's Friday. Thank goodness it is Friday. I am so excited that the week is over, and hopefully you are excited too. Maybe you're on your way home from work. Maybe you're already home and getting ready to go out for the evening, set your weekend off. That's all right. We have a show which is special to you. Here's what I mean. We're going to tell you about the Blue Note Jazz Club, which is going to land in Hollywood, which is going to bring a new era of LA jazz. That might be something to consider in the future. Also, we're going to have 2UrbanGirls, the website and blog creator, Melissa. They do outstanding investigative reporting locally, and they have turned into a national force. So we're going to talk about all things 2UrbanGirls in just a moment. And also, we'll have actress Tia Carrere, who's going to join us tonight and talk to us about Lilo and Stitch, how it's been released, coming up on Disney Plus. And we have Name That Movie Cult Classic. It's going to be sponsored by Alamo Drafthouse. Let me just tell you, at Alamo Drafthouse Cinema, downtown LA, you can face your fears with Alamo Drafthouse exclusive theatrical debut of A Nightmare on Elm Street, the 7-film collection. That's right. This August and September, Alamo Drafthouse Cinema DTLA has the exclusive theatrical debut of the entire A Nightmare on Elm Street 7-film collection, remastered in stunning 4K. And this is ahead of its 4K Ultra HD box set release on September 30th. The theatrical screenings begin on August 29th with A Nightmare on Elm Street, and Freddy's Alamo Run won't stop until Wes Craven's New Nightmare, which screens on September 20th. Tickets are now on sale and will sell out fast. I'm talking about A Nightmare on Elm Street, August 29th. A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, on the 5th. Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, also on 9/5. A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master, on the 12th. A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child, on the 12th. Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, on the 19th. And Wes Craven's New Nightmare on September 20th. We'll have all that information for you throughout the show tonight, as Alamo Drafthouse has kindly sponsored the show tonight. We have the Ronner Report with Mark Ronner, and we've previewed a little bit of it, but I know he has plenty more to say about Alien Earth. Is that right?
No, Mo, we're going to switch gears.
What?
And you're going to really enjoy this.
You have something else that you'll be reviewing.
Oh, finger on the pulse, Mo. Do you want to be surprised, or you want me to tell you now?
Gosh, it's so titillating.
No. You want the surprise. Okay. I promise you, you especially, you want this surprise.
I want the surprise.
Finger on the pulse.
Okay.
Finger, Mo, on the pulse.
Well, the repetition makes it sound filthy.
It sounds like E.T.
Okay. Yeah.
So
be
good.
No Reese's Pieces for you. None.
With that long ass finger. There's no theme for the game tonight. Name that movie code classic. There's no theme, but there's some real easy ones, and there's some damn near impossible ones. I don't know if Mark is going to get them all.
Sometimes I don't.
How many do you think you get on occasion?
I'd say I usually get at least 75%.
Yeah, okay. 7 or 8. That sounds about right.
But sometimes because of your, honestly, let's just call things what they are. You have kind of offbeat taste in obscure, unpopular films.
So it's my fault
what?
you can't figure out the damn movies.
I thought you were a cinephile. Not a, well, I don't know. Your taste is different.
I don't spend my time wallowing in the cinematic gutters like Mo does. Come on now.
Okay, have you at least seen Wayne's World with Tia Carrere?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Have you seen True Lies with Tia Carrere?
Uh-huh.
All right. Lilo and Stitch? No, you don't see those movies because you're an adult.
Oh, that's right. That's right, I am.
At least you know who she is because she's going to be joining us at 8 o'clock.
Well, that's exciting.
I think of it this way. You know, there's some bad parts to anyone's job, and there's some difficult parts to this job. Talking to Tia Carrere is not one of them. Not at all, under any circumstances.
No, I got to pay attention for this.
You know, it'll be the first time, I'm sure.
Uh-huh.
And Twala Sharp, it's good to see you as well. Fine show you put together this evening. And what's this about Playboy is moving their global headquarters out of California? I didn't know they were still in business.
I didn't either, but that still shook me because of all the time we spent at the Playboy Mansion.
That is true.
That's why we got to share some stories.
About all the time that we spent looking at Playboys.
No. Damn the magazine. I'm talking about the grotto, man.
Oh,
grotto.
Yeah, we have to tell the stories about the grotto. Yes, I'll tell you the story of hanging out with Hugh Hefner, the Los Angeles Lakers, Paula Abdul, Whitney Houston, Bobby Brown, and there were other people. I'm trying to think who was there, but it was at the Playboy Mansion, and the grotto was popping. And it was just for an album release party that we were sponsoring at Warner Brothers Records. I tell you, if I die tomorrow, and I don't want to, let's be clear, I'm not trying to jinx myself. I can say I've lived and I have some stories that I get to take with me.
Yeah. While I'm in line, waiting to get through Heaven's Gate, I'm be sharing some stories. Like, oh man, let me tell you about this other time. Whoo.
We'll talk a little bit of jazz and a blue note coming to California in just a moment.
There's nothing like sinking into luxury. At WashableSofas.com, you'll find the Anabe sofa, which combines ultimate comfort and design at an affordable price. And get this, it's the only sofa that's fully machine washable from top to bottom, starting at only $699. The stain-resistant performance fabric slipcovers and cloud-like frame duvet can go straight into your wash. Perfect for anyone with kids, pets, or anyone who loves an easy-to-clean, spotless sofa. With a modular design and changeable slipcovers, you can customize your sofa to fit any space and style. Whether you need a single chair, love seat, or a luxuriously large sectional, Anabe has you covered. Visit WashableSofas.com to upgrade your home. Right now, you can shop up to 60% off store-wide with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Shop now at WashableSofas.com. Add a little to your life. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
If you eat too many ultra-processed foods, you could be starving your gut microbes, and they'll get hangry. That's one of many things I learned after working on a new audio course about the gut microbiome. You can learn how to keep your gut happy by listening to Try This from the Washington Post. I'm Christina Quinn. I host Try This. Dig in with me on practical advice for life's common challenges. Follow Try This right now wherever you're listening. Seriously, try it.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Later with Mo Kelly. We're live on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and the iHeartRadio app. And just for those who may not know or remember, I'm a kid who grew up with music everywhere. My mother, still with us, was a vocal music instructor. My father passed on. he was an instrumental music teacher. He taught band at elementary, middle school, and high school level. Both my parents are musicians in their own right. Beyond teaching, they did some session work with Tina Turner back in the day. My father played with various folks when he was as young as 15 years old, playing jazz, sax, and doing some things with Lionel Hampton and others over the years. I say all that to say that music, especially jazz, has had a huge impact on my life. The different eras of jazz, from traditional jazz, bebop, jazz fusion of the 1980s, and more contemporary jazz. Love it all. But if you love jazz, you know that LA historically has not had a singular preeminent jazz venue. Now, there's some nice venues that they also have some jazz. Like if you went to Herb Alpert's Vibrato Grill, that is a good location and a good venue for music in general. And they have a lot of jazz there, but as far as preeminent venues, I don't think we've really had that one. If you go to Washington, D.C., they have Blues Alley. If you go to New York, you obviously have the Blue Note, the legendary Blue Note. So when I saw the news that they finally opened a Blue Note here in Los Angeles, as a matter of fact, it was yesterday, was the official grand opening. They have Robert Glasper, who's going to be performing tonight. I was overjoyed because LA has needed this, and I'm just digging through the calendar for the next few months to see what I'm going to see. And it's close enough where, no disrespect to Herb Alpert's Vibrato Grill, but that's like kind of up in the hills. It's difficult to get to, and it's difficult to get away from. It has limited parking. So hopefully this being in Hollywood, it will have ample parking. I've been to the Blue Note in New York just once, and that was when I was working for the Grammys, and that was a good, almost 30 years ago at this point. So it's nice to have something to look forward to as far as music venues. I'm at that age where I'm not going to big venues. I refuse to. I'm not dealing with all that extra stuff. But if you could have a nice, intimate venue, yeah, I'm in there.
So that's what this is. This is more like maybe a 200-300 person max venue where you can be up close and see the act. There's tables. This is for grown people who want to go and see a show where you don't have to be standing room only.
Yeah, Catalina Jazz Grill. I've been there maybe 10, 15 times. That's a nice venue. I think it's on a little small side.
That's very small. That's
it's
maybe
very
50
small.
people max with tables in there.
Yeah. It's nice when you get to see groups at Catalina Jazz Grill because you're like right up in their face. You get to hear everything. It's almost like they're performing in your living room.
Yeah.
But I need a little bigger than that. And I would say a good sized venue back in the day was House of Blues.
I liked House of Blues, but I like places like the Viper Room even more. I like even more intimate clubs. Like that's the first time I saw Jill Scott and Angie Stone and people like that at the Viper Room, where it was like a nice intimate club setting.
I saw Jill Scott at the House of Blues. And House of Blues, as far as music houses, which of course is no longer there, lent itself to all sorts of performances. And it wasn't limited to just jazz, whereas the Blue Note is synonymous with jazz and jazz alone. I hope that they don't dilute it.
No. It's going to be diluted. Like they've already, besides Robert Glasper, yes, they've got like the Kamasi Washingtons of the world, but they've got Killer Mike, they've got Andre Day, so they've got jazz-esque, hip hop, neo soul,
spoken wordish.
They've got a lot of that. Now you're not going to see, Little Dirk or Little Baby or any of them in there, but you will see groups that appeal to a more adult crowd.
Now, I would see the artist Her at the Blue Note.
Okay.
And that wouldn't offend my jazz sensibilities.
Yes.
Because she's done it. Like, for example, when I saw Prince, the one and only time I saw Prince was at the Conga Room, and that had maybe 400 people there. There were no chairs. Everyone was standing.
I love the Conga Room when it was on Washington. I mean, on Wilshire. Yes, I loved it when it was on Wilshire. The Conga Room. Yes.
And that's about the size I want. I want to feel like I'm not at Staples Center. I'm not at SoFi Stadium. The whole idea of going to a stadium for a music performance is just mind-boggling to me. I have no desire to see a Beyonce at SoFi Stadium.
Now, if the Blue Note Jazz Club is really about the business of getting out there in LA and connecting with an audience that's going to feel them. What they need to do is they need to have Later with Mo Kelly broadcasting live from the venue. Have you come on introducing the acts, hosting giving away tickets here. Come on, Blue Note Jazz Club.
Tuala, I'm going to be going on vacation next week, starting Wednesday.
It's already in motion because I put it out there in the universe. It's already in motion.
All right, because that would be a perfect fit. And so we just need to go ahead and make that relationship happen. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
Mark, are you a jazz fan by chance?
Yeah.
I know you're a music fan, but I don't know genre specific.
Yeah, I like jazz. I had kind of a father figure teach me jazz at a real young age, and I dig it.
Now, I have to ask Robin, is anyone in your friends group a jazz fan, or has your generation left jazz behind and don't even acknowledge it?
I think our generation left it behind.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Y'all can't appreciate anything of value.
Bring on the asteroid. Bring the asteroid.
I mean, it was an honest answer, but it was a disappointing and depressing one.
That, is all about booty.
If we took enough time to show you where all your favorite music came from and the jazz samples that they use, the source of what you like about a song, I would say not you, but I'm saying your generation would have a greater appreciation, because it doesn't seem like the millennials and the Gen Z actually create much of anything. They'll sample, they'll borrow, they'll do remakes, but as far as, real new composition, not so much. And yes, I'm being elitist. Yes, I know I sound old, but I also sound right.
No, let her have it.
This we agree on, huh?
Yeah, for once, yeah.
Okay. We'll talk about that generation gap. When we come back, I'll be joined by the founder and creator and editor of 2UrbanGirls. It is a fantastic website/blog as far as independent reporting. They've broken a lot of national stories centered in Inglewood, but now they've branched out to all of Southern California in national news. If you get a chance, check out 2UrbanGirls.com. That's number 2UrbanGirls.com. I'm going to speak with its founder, Melissa, when we come back. It's Later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640 live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Later with Mo Kelly on KFI AM 640.
We're live everywhere on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and the iHeartRadio app. In 2011, 2UrbanGirls began solely as an Inglewood, California-based blog. It has since gained national recognition as a credible and reliable brand that has been mentioned in reputable news publishing sites across the country. Today, 2UrbanGirls has moved into reporting local, regional, state, and national news to an international audience. And joining me right now on the line is the founder and editor of 2UrbanGirls, Melissa. Just like Madonna, just like Cher, it's just Melissa. Melissa, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well. I have read 2UrbanGirls for many years. I don't know when I first started reading it, but I noticed over the years you got more and more stories that you would break. And then local media would pick up on them. National media would pick up on them. Tell me very quickly how and why you started 2UrbanGirls.
Okay. It was in 2011. I was in some parental leadership bodies within Inglewood Unified School District at the time when it was still under local control. Dr. McHenry was the superintendent, and we were in meetings with him discussing the potential and inevitable state receivership that the district was heading in for the next school year. And I was looking into our local newspaper, Inglewood Today, and they weren't writing about it. I looked at the Los Angeles Wave. They weren't writing about it. And the Sentinel, they didn't write about it, but they were helping to push bonds that were coming up on the ballot for the election. And so I saw there was a void in covering something as huge as the district being taken over. We're getting ready to issue new bonds to fix the schools, but we won't have control over how that money is being spent. And so I started the blog to be an alternative to reporting on those types of issues.
I don't know. Maybe it was just in the progression of bringing two NFL franchises here, first the Rams, then the Chargers, and moving to an area which is just right next to Inglewood. I became much more involved in what was happening in my community around me. And I've had plenty to say about the growth and expansion of Inglewood. But if I were to leave it to you, how would you characterize the change in the topography and the demography of that city?
Ooh, I would say it's a multi-layered perspective. When you've been here, a lifelong resident, you like to see the new things coming in. What we don't like is not having a voice in how the city is growing. And so I think that has been the biggest gripe within the community, that these projects are being forced on us without our input. And when you look at the impact it's having on us, that could be why we're not having any input, because we might not have approved it if we knew the full picture.
Speaking of input, I've seen some of your stories recently on the price of parking. I'm talking about resident parking and also parking when it comes to attending event right next to SoFi or right next to Intuit. Talk to me about this citywide permit parking program and how it's led to parking prices being as high as $300 for some events.
So what we see is permit parking isn't something that's totally new in Inglewood. When the Forum was up and running and you had the Lakers, there was a permit parking program adjacent to the Forum on the west side of Prairie. So those residents over there between Manchester to Century, they've always had a permit parking program because of the activity at the Forum. The biggest difference was at the time you still had the racetrack open. So that was your overflow parking at the time. So it didn't really impact the residents too much because they had another alternative for the attendees to park, which was over at Hollywood Park. You still had people parking in the neighborhood probably to avoid parking, but it wasn't as costly as what we see today. So fast forward to SoFi Stadium opening, the Forum opening. I think you might recall when they started to dismantle Hollywood Park.
Yes.
It became big news when the overflow parking became over at the Inglewood Park Cemetery. The news covered the fact that cars were being parked over there, and they were like, well, it's after hours, no big deal. But it was a big deal because it's a cemetery and it's people's final resting place. We've never, in my opinion, we're not adequately equipped to accommodate a 70, 80,000 seat stadium, because when you're bringing cars in, where are they parking?
Right.
You literally dropped a stadium in the middle of the city and said, deal with it. So they came up with this permit parking program that charges the residents to park in front of our home. They put up these signage that says, you can only have 2 hours to park without a permit, but predominantly you have to have a permit, which people were complaining about. But they said, well, the trade-off is we'll be able to park when we come home because it will prevent attendees from the Forum, the stadium, from parking in our neighborhoods. And that's not happening because there's no parking enforcement. You're hard pressed to see traffic parking enforcement officers rolling through the neighborhoods, checking for those permits to ticket the cars that are parking there that don't participate in the permit parking program. And because of the cost of parking at the venues, that leads to more parking in the neighborhoods, and we don't understand why there's no enforcement.
I know just living one street over from Inglewood that the traffic is unbearable most times of the year. If I try to go over to the Hollywood Park complex or the retail district, just trying to park over there next to Intuit is difficult. Drive through it is almost impossible if the Clippers have a game, or now the Sunday if the Rams or Chargers have a game. I say all that to say I know the economic impact can't be argued as far as the money being brought in. I know it can't be argued that there was a degree of gentrification because of these projects being brought in. James Butts has both been revered and reviled as mayor of Inglewood. He's up for re-election next year. What is the temperature surrounding James Butts, and also the civil judgments against him and so forth?
Well, when in the last election, I think we've noticed that his popularity dropped tremendously. His first re-election, he won with 83% of the vote. Last election in 2022, he was down to 55%. He almost was forced into a runoff, and was almost forced into a runoff by a candidate that wasn't as well funded as the candidate who ran against him in 2018. I think the temperature is that we have James Butts fatigue. We're tired. We see the economic impacts aren't as fruitful as what they could be if we weren't paying so many legal fees connected to things that derive from him. Traffic accidents, the issues with the treasurer, the issues with his former assistant. Those things are bad for business. And when we look at the numbers, we see, okay, you have the stadium open and doing events. That revenue for admissions tax is capped at $15 million a year. We're putting assets over there in terms of law enforcement, code enforcement, parking control. We pay 100% of those costs, but we're not getting 100% back from those venues. We've also had to extend outside law enforcement contracts to cover some of those events. When we look at the parking tax, the numbers don't add up once you start looking at the details of the budget. And that's what I think is the most disappointing from my perspective, that it was sold to us that there was going to be so much money coming in that we were going to start to see things be different here. And the only thing that we see constantly is traffic and congestion.
If you're just tuning in,
the same thing.
If you're just tuning in right now, joining me on the line is founder and editor of 2UrbanGirls.com. Her name is Melissa, just like Madonna and Cher. She's only got one name, so I didn't want you to be taken back by that. But Melissa, on the other side of the break, I want to ask you about a mutual friend. And I've not spoken to our mutual friend. Our mutual friend is Alex Michelson. Today was his last day at Fox 11.
Yes, it was.
And you and I both know him and have both known him for many years. He shouted you out many times on his show and in his reporting. So I know that he respects what you do. We were having a playful interplay on Instagram, you and I, talking about Alex Michelson, where he may end up, because he hasn't made a public announcement. And I haven't spoken to him. I don't know if you have, but
no, I haven't.
Okay, so when we come back, I want to have a guessing game as to where he's going to end up, because the KFI audience, they know Alex, they love Alex, and I think both of us can give some insight as to where he might end up. You want to play with that when we come back?
Absolutely.
Tired of spills and stains on your sofa? WashableSofas.com has your back. Featuring the Anabay collection, the only designer sofa that's machine washable inside and out, where designer quality meets budget-friendly prices. That's right, sofas start at just $699. Enjoy a no-risk experience with pet-friendly, stain-resistant, and changeable slip covers made with performance fabrics. Experience cloud-like comfort with high-resilience foam that's hypoallergenic and never needs fluffing. The sturdy steel frame ensures longevity, and the modular pieces can be rearranged anytime. Check out WashableSofas.com and get up to 60% off your Anabay sofa, backed by a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. If you're not absolutely in love, send it back for a full refund. No return shipping or restocking fees. Every penny back. Upgrade now at WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
If you eat too many ultra-processed foods, you could be starving your gut microbes, and they'll get hangry. That's one of many things I learned after working on a new audio course about the gut microbiome. You can learn how to keep your gut happy by listening to Try This from the Washington Post. I'm Christina Quinn. I host Try This. Dig in with me on practical advice for life's common challenges. Follow Try This right now wherever you're listening. Seriously, try it.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI AM 640 is Later with Mo Kelly. We're live on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and the iHeartRadio app. We're talking about all things Inglewood and beyond with the founder editor of 2UrbanGirls, Melissa, who has been joining me on the show for a while. Melissa, let me bring you back into the conversation. We teased before the break that we have a mutual friend in Alex Michelson, and the KFI audience loves and has known Alex for many years. You and I have known Alex for many years, and he had his last day at Fox 11 today. And I think it caught a lot of people by surprise because it seemed like Alex was moving in a certain trajectory as it related to television and television news. Not saying he left to do something else, but it seemed like he was going in a certain direction. You and I had this interplay on Instagram about where he might be going. And neither of us have talked to him, so we're just speculating and offering conjecture out loud. I'll let you go first. Where do you think Alex Michelson is going to end up?
I believe he's going to go run communications for our governor, Gavin Newsom.
What? You really think
yes,
so?
I do.
Oh, give me some reasoning behind that.
I think he's developed a very good rapport with the governor. He's been embedded with him a few times. On the occasions going around the state, talking to people. I think Alex has a very good grasp on the issues in the state. He understands the high cost of the administration's fight with the Trump administration. I think he's a good analyst of reporting on the issues and staying out of an opinion space, but keeping it very professional and insightful and interesting in order to, convey the message to Gavin as he potentially prepares to run for president. And I just think that overall, he's a really good guy, and it wouldn't be a bad place for him to land.
I agree with a lot what you're saying, but I don't think that he would go working in an overtly political capacity. And this is something I've never had a personal political conversation with Alex. That's something we've always kept separate. But I got the impression he prided himself on having or existing in this neutral space of being able to report and give information without being perceived necessarily one side of the aisle or the other. I have my personal idea of where his politics are. Man, I'm not going to speculate on that publicly. My suspicion is, and this may seem like a slight contradiction, but I think that Alex is going to go higher than, let's say, the communications department. We know that the New York Post is getting ready to start up the California Post out here. And I was under the impression that it is supposed to be a direct competitor to TMZ. We know that Alex Michelson has done some work with Harvey Levin recently. I could see him running up that whole operation and be the Alex Michelson to the Harvey Levin of TMZ, and then have a wider variety of reporting that he is responsible for running. What do you say to that?
That's interesting. I understand that with the constraints of working for Channel 7, he can't be too controversial and probably is not able to, and of course, not able to express his political beliefs. TMZ is a little edgy. It's a little, I wouldn't say tabloidish.
No, you can say it. It would be tabloidish. It would be.
It's tabloidish. So I think it's fun, but it seems like when I view him and watch him on TMZ, his body language just wasn't giving me, he was into that kind of, those kind of topics.
Okay.
I think he likes the political space. I know he's done a really good job of interviewing people across the board. So I think he definitely wants to stay. I would say he would want to stay in that space of interviewing and maybe, you know, doing a little bit more in the political realm to give a more insight into what his actual political beliefs are.
Okay, we said, I'm running out of time, but we said offline that there needs to be some sort of friendly wager here. Mm-hmm. We don't know who's going to be closer. One of us could be right. Neither of us could be right. But in the event that one of us is right, and I say, you know, I've been honest with you, I have not spoken to Alex or anyone in his immediate circle. If one of us is right, that means maybe the other person is paying for dinner?
I would love that wager. Okay. I'll take that bet.
All right. So where is it you're going to end up taking me since you're going to lose?
Where am I going to take you since I'm going to lose?
Yes.
No, since I'm going to win, I want to go to Castaways.
Okay. All right.
And if you go ahead and win, where do you want to go?
How about Mastro's Steakhouse?
Game on.
I love it. Melissa, it's been a pleasure talking to you. This is the first time we've had a conversation on air. I'm sure it won't be the last, if only because I have to call you to make sure that I get to collect on my dinner.
For sure. I'll be waiting for that call.
We'll be in touch. Talk to you soon.
Have a good night.
It's Later with Mo Kelly, KFI AM 640, live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. More stimulating talk.
Time for a sofa upgrade? Visit WashableSofas.com and discover Anabay, where designer style meets budget-friendly prices, with sofas starting at $699. Anabay brings you the ultimate in furniture innovation with a modular design that allows you to rearrange your space effortlessly. Perfect for both small and large spaces, Anabay is the only machine-washable sofa inside and out. Say goodbye to stains and messes with liquid and stain-resistant fabrics that make cleaning easy. Liquid simply slides right off. Designed for custom comfort, our high-resilience foam lets you choose between a sink-in feel or a supportive memory foam blend. Plus, our pet-friendly, stain-resistant fabrics ensure your sofa stays beautiful for years. Don't compromise quality for price. Visit WashableSofas.com to upgrade your living space today with no-risk returns and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Get up to 60% off plus free shipping and free returns. Shop now at WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
If you eat too many ultra-processed foods, you could be starving your gut microbes, and they'll get hangry. That's one of many things I learned after working on a new audio course about the gut microbiome. You can learn how to keep your gut happy by listening to Try This from the Washington Post. I'm Christina Quinn. I host Try This. Dig in with me on practical advice for life's common challenges. Follow Try This right now wherever you're listening. Seriously, try it.